happy belated.
Thank you. Thank you. This one was like emotional. Like I literally, it's funny because last year, on my birthday, I had said to Blake, I'm like, hey, I don't care. I got an offer to do this show in Hawaii. I was like, I don't really care about my birthday. Like you go do your thing. Like I'll just go. And I had like this mental breakdown spiral. Like I was like in the presidential suite in like on a Hawaiian island, like by myself. And I was like, what has my life become? Like, what is this? This is not okay. And so I ended up writing a song called Swallow My Tears, which is on this record. And here we are, fast forwarded to the future. And so I was like, no, I need to transition into my next year. So we went to Colorado. We went to this little town called Steamboat Springs, sorry. And we just had so much fun, but it was again crying. Like I don't know what's the deal with crying on my birthday now, but I felt so loved, and it was just such a good birthday, and we drank our way to the other side. So here we
Yeah.
are.
There you go. That's all that matters. No, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I don't really care about birthdays. I'm just like, you know what? Let's go to Chili's, call it a day. But, uh,
That
but no,
sounds fun.
sometimes though, like, especially when your significant other wants to make it something special and can help, like that's super important and that's great. So, and, this month is your birthday month. And then next month is your album's birthday month.
Yes.
Okay, so, right? Bouquet, November 15th, right?
November 15th. It feels fake and not real, even saying it out loud, because it's been such a kind of fight and journey to make this bouquet of music. It's just been, I wanted it so bad, like you have no idea, because when I first wrote a song and knew that I could do that, like I just found I thought that was my purpose. Like it feels like my purpose, and I feel like
Yeah.
it makes me feel like I'm doing something that's valuable. And, so when I'm not doing that or I don't get to do it, it makes me feel like I don't know, I need to do it. So, but at the same time, like I was like, how do I find time to go to the studio and write music? I felt like guilty, like, mom guilt. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, okay.
Because it's not like something I could just press a button and it comes out. Like it's like you have to keep going and trying and doing it. And
Yeah.
I felt like I was trying at first, really trying to compete with myself, like from the past, and like I wanted to recreate or try to recreate stuff that I'd done before and couldn't really find who I was now. And then I finally landed. And so now to be able to share it is like you have no idea. It's so exciting.
Well, I remember because we spoke about this like earlier this year, and you said at that time that the album was pretty much finished, but you were like in the stage of just listening to it over and over and over again and just fine tuning. So, like, how was the final product different from earlier this year then?
A lot different because there was this itch that I had, that I needed to go and re-record the whole record.
Oh my God.
I know. It's like I knew this is the thing. Like I always like I'm a prayer, right? Like I want to like do whatever I'm supposed to do. Like just show me the way. And I think there was just this thing in me that I knew it needed to be like this organic sounding, real live musician's album. And I had worked with this producer who's a country producer who I met through Blake Shelton, who's an absolute genius icon, and his name's Scott Hendricks.
Okay.
And but he was never available to work with me because he had contracts and blah blah blah. And anyways, I had sent him two of the songs. It was like awkward because it's like this girl from Anaheim, like asking this guy to like, would you do my record? Like it literally makes no sense that he would do my record. But I knew because I'd worked with him what he does. And he's just such a genius. And he's old school in the sense that it's like the way that we used to make records, which is like we all get in a room, we all be ourselves, and we all play, and it's live. And there's something that you can't get from, just like, oh my gosh, the guy, here comes the gardener, of course, like right in front of the window. Yeah, so I don't know, like he wrote me back. I was like, oh my gosh, Scott Hendricks he's texting me, and he's like, I can't stop listening to these songs. And just like a miracle, 4 days after he retired from his contract, we were in the studio in Nashville with some of the best musicians in the planet. And we just sat there, like they had acoustic versions of the songs, and I loved the demos. I don't get me wrong, like the demos, they were amazing, but they felt like me in 2003. And I knew that I couldn't repeat myself. Like I knew that I needed to evolve into who I am right now. And so
Sure.
going in and like listening to just acoustic versions of the songs, which is just a completely stripped down version of just the lyric and the chords. And all the musicians were there, and they like listened, and then everybody went into the room, and the room was like all set up like, you know, it just was such a cool space. And everyone just played these songs. I was bawling. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just so beautiful. And I even had a little demoitis, because it's like you have like these versions you live with, and then you create this new energy, and you're like, is this it? And so now we're on the other side of that. It's like, I just think the album feels like a real cohesive body of work, like an art piece. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to live in this world or compete in this world. I just wanted to create something that was purely me right now. So yeah, I feel like I get to share that now, and it's super exciting.
Somebody else's, which we're playing on the Pulse all the time already.
You are?
But it has yeah, we are. Yeah, like so I'm on at night, and we play it like every other hour. I feel like it's already in rotation that much, and it's made it to our count. We have like a weekend countdown. Already made it to that too. So
what?
Yeah, it's going pretty good.
Come on, that is a miracle. We all know that.
No, it's pretty awesome. And you know what? The sound of it, though, I guess that kind of explains working with Scott, because it's kind of country-esque.
Well, I think what you're probably hearing is like, because it's more of a live band sound, which is like kind of rare right now, because like when I was a kid, like I listened to a lot of we call it yacht rock now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like anything from like Steely Dan, and like, I mean, there's a million bands, but Chicago, whatever. And is that really bothering you? The gardeners? I can make them move. They're
no, actually,
now there's 3 of them. I can see them all.
Okay.
Okay.
I was worried because my dog is bugging me down here.
Okay.
Like, oh, get down,
our dog's down here too.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think you're hearing just like live music, and that's what's so cool about it, because it's like there's really just the same musicians that you have on every record, except for nothing's like, there is a little bit of programming that came afterward, but it's not country. I mean, the musicians live in Nashville, and they do play on all kinds of music. But some of the greatest musicians in the world. And so that's what's so cool, was so amazing about it. It was like taking these songs and letting them lift to where they were going to go. And
yeah,
it was just so cool. I mean, it's not that much different than what No Doubt did and back in the day, because it was like, you know, whatever, like us 4, it was 5 members with my brother, and we would play live, you know what I'm saying? And then you do some overdubs and stuff. But like for the most part, that energy is something that's, you know, like my solo records were the opposite. It was the absolute opposite. It was like, I want this to sound 80s. Like I want it to be a program drum. I want it to sound fake. I want it to sound, you know, like it was an opposite sound. So to be able to be like, to have the luxury of and having like all of the songwriters and producers that worked on the first versions be so open to letting me go and do that, it was just such an indulgence, I have to say. But it's so awesome.
I mean, just your ability to be free and openly creative, like that's so important. Yes. You know, I love that. And you know, on top of the album that's going to be out, you're also very, very busy with The Voice, because it's in full effect now. And I really like this replay button idea thing that you guys have.
Oh my gosh, I know. I was like, why were we not always doing that? Like,
your reaction to Jalen the other day was priceless. Like, and I was wondering too, I'm like, because as he was singing, I was like, oh, how are they going to react when because like the voice doesn't match, you know, a 14-year-old, right?
I know.
And then like when you just ran up to hug him and stuff, I was like, oh my God, this is great. Team Jalen.
Yeah, the whole season has been really magic, I have to say. I wasn't planning to go back because I don't know. I want to hang out with Blake, and Blake retired to hang out with me. But then when they were like Snoop Dogg and Reba and Michael Bublé, and I just couldn't say no, because I was like, okay, one more time. And it just happens to be such a magical, like everybody's like, we sit in like a prayer circle before we go on. Like everybody's so hyped to be on this season. And the talent has been the same, like just this really like cool energy, like as a group, everybody's so grateful. I don't know. It's just a really magical season. And interestingly for me, those younger singers that, especially when you're like sitting with your back and you can't see them and you turn around and you're just, are you kidding me? You're like, how are you that gifted? And also not just the gifted part, but like to be that composed, to get up there and not be scared. Like, I mean, it's amazing. But I love the show. I love all the coaches this season. I love everybody at that show is like, they just have it's like a family energy. And I just feel blessed to be there. It's so fun. And people, I can see that a lot more people are watching the season. Like everyone's like in it together. Like everyone's texting me. Like I can see it on Twitter. Everyone's writing about it. So there is something special about the season.
Yeah, there's an energy to it.
Yeah.
Just like the energy around this new album, which we are super stoked for. November 15th.
Gosh, thank you.
It's happening. This new era, as the kids say.
Hey, you know what? You got some energy too, dude. You got some real